stage is Scott Johnson of Digital Shovel.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Scott from Digital Shovel. So, Bitcoin mining shipping containers are dead. Pretty dramatic statement for somebody who builds Bitcoin mining farms. Before I get into that, a little bit about myself and the company. If my clicker will work. There we go. I started in mining in 2016. Originally back in like 2015, I thought Bitcoin mining was a scam. I thought mining was hacking into somebody's wallets. Clearly not the case. Went down the rabbit hole, got into Ethereum mining in 2015 and 2016. Built my first container in a parking lot around 2017. And then in 2018, actually somebody I ran into here at the conference asked me to build a container for him, which I actually didn't want to do. He convinced me otherwise. I ended up doing it, and so was founded Digital Shovel in 2018. Since then, we've come to be one of the largest manufacturers of data centers for Bitcoin mining in North America. We have over 900 units across the world, and we do pretty much everything in-house. We have 75 full-time staff, full manufacturing facility that we do all of our own metal work. Sorry, this clicker is not... There we go. All our own metal fabrication in-house. 4 main laser punch turret work. We also do robotic welding, and we've even moved now into PCB assembly. And why I'm hammering on all that is this flexible range of capabilities has really allowed us to evolve our product from a retrofitted shipping container that we once started with. This is one of the first ones we ever built in our shop, which was outside at Coronation right here in Scarborough. And we continued doing that for several years. So why do I say Bitcoin mining shipping containers are dead? It's not as much as they're dead, they're obsolete. There's a better way of doing things. There's a lot of challenges that come when you're trying to design around something with a fixed envelope, like a shipping container, a 20-foot or a 40-foot, and you're really limited by a set design parameter. Some of those limitations, if I can get this clicker to work, there we go, is if you're doing stranded gas production, which a lot of our customers do. They'll go to an oil field, they'll have stranded natural gas, and instead of flaring that gas, they'll take and put a Bitcoin mining farm there. Well, if you have a fixed size data center, such as you would with a 40-foot or a 20-foot container, you're limited to either, let's say just a fixed 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt, or 3 megawatt size. Well, your well might not be that size. You might also have gas production that goes up or down, and you don't have the ability to just take a piece of that and move it elsewhere. Same goes with some of the disruptions in supply chain that happen around trying to move really large shipping containers. And further from that, the same thing applies with generator selection. If you've got a fixed 1 megawatt generator, but your well is generating 1.2 megawatts of gas and your container is 2 megawatts, you end up with a lot of underutilized assets. Same thing applies to your transformer selection as well. So what we took and developed was a modular unit. We moved completely away from shipping containers because we have the flexibility to be able to design and build these things in-house from the ground up. You can see a couple of them outside. We actually took and built a 4.8 megawatt data center, which would typically take several months to put it together. We built that outside in just 1 day. Because of the way we make these units, we could take one single unit, simply add units on as we need to, scaling based on the size of our production. In this particular illustration, we're looking at something that has 2.4 megawatts. Outside, we have 4.8, and we can scale these in blocks up and down based on the size of our transformer, our gas well, or our generator. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the issues that we talked about that you have in terms of size limitation associated with just using conventional shipping containers has been completely resolved by this modular solution. So over the last year, I was looking at ways of how am I going to make this even more efficient? How are we going to create a better value proposition for our customer and further lower costs? And one of the biggest challenges was shipping and logistics. I mean, we have great shipping and logistics partners, but we're always trying to drive better value and better cost proposition for our customers. And from that, what we took is our new bolt-together unit. So the same pod you see outside will actually come together in pieces. It'll come like a flat pack, just like it would from IKEA. And the pieces will come together. You're able to bolt them together in the field. It takes approximately 3 hours for 2 people with a forklift to put them together. and it dramatically lowers the cost of production. You don't have to pay for our entire assembly hall to assemble the entire unit as one piece. You don't need to pay for the cost of, what would otherwise be 6 trucks to move several megawatts can now be done in 2 trucks, and allows us to ship these units overseas in shipping containers in a much more reasonable and cost-effective fashion than we previously had. We went one further as well in terms of other modular solutions we've been developing. Most recently, we just launched our nanopod, which is outside. This is something to try to bring the ability for miners to still do at-home operations. So it's getting more and more competitive, more and more industrialized, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's becoming a lot harder for smaller mom-and-pop miners, as we call them, to be able to be competitive in this market. This solution allows you to still hook up with just conventional single-phase 220 power, all your ventilation built in, and it also has a system called heat vectoring. So there's 6 fans on the back of it, and what you can do is you can attach a duct to one or more of those fans and route that heat to another room or to a greenhouse or to a barn or something to that effect, and then hook up an external thermostat, and that thermostat can read the heat in that room. Once the temperature gets to what you want it to be, then you can choose to exhaust the heat using the other fans, and the other fans will stop running that we're pumping the heat to that room. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I started mining, I used to heat a room in my house or heat part of the warehouse, but the problem was once it got up to the heat that I wanted, it didn't stop. It just kept heating that room up more and more and more, and you weren't able to balance that. This heat vectoring system allows you to take care of that challenge in a kind of all-in-one inclusive package. The same thing, again, as our other unit. This comes in a bolt-together unit, so you can purchase it just like you would with a IKEA coffee table. 2 friends can bolt this together without any heavy equipment, and it's a very modular, easy-to-use solution. So that covers it from us. You can check us outside. We've got all of these products on display. You can get us online on all social media, digital_shovel, and digitalshovel.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott Johnson of Digital Shovel.